Hi, good evening to everybody. Anybody who's gonna finally watch this thing. Uh, First, God, I, I ask that you give me the words to say in this video to the masses, that they hear you in it and not me, and that your will be done. Alright. Okay, so I woke up this morning and I was feeling kind of off, like, I don't know, like awful groggy. But so I turned on this thing and I listened to this message, like a message from God, it was talking to me, and it told that there was a victory, and I had gotten the victory in these battles. It's kind of where I've been having to deal with for the past, I don't know, nearly 6 years. I kind of wondered when it was ever going to be over, or if it was going to be over. Funny thing, one of those ops actually came and knocked on my door yesterday. One of the main ones. Of course, I sure wasn't going to let him in my house. I told him, I said, well, you're not really welcome here, man. Because I know they're still up to doing their stuff, I wasn't scared or anything. From what I saw is that all this magic that they're doing is going back and hitting them. And they really need to come off of that, because he didn't look very healthy. Anyway, but I was told, and I knew this already, but I guess someone was to be chosen to carry God's light, carry God. You see, we think that Jesus, according to the good book, that Jesus is going to be coming down here on a horse and, like a warrior, whatnot. But Jesus is already here, and he lives inside of me. Many of you have the Holy Spirit, but what I'm understanding here is that there's like one person in your lineage will have this really Holy Spirit in them, and that would be passed down from another of the people in your lineage, and it was passed down to me. And I guess some of that fight with these people have been for that, because they wanted it to be them. And but these people aren't living a life that would be conducive to that. I hope that at some point they get there, because really I don't want to see anybody have to go to hell. But that's where they're heading right now. I've got one, I'm told, that has tried to hold on to me, but won't go towards the light because they passed away. And they don't want to go to the light because they're afraid of the judgment that they're going to receive. Well, I don't know about anything about that. I kept telling them, to get right, because you don't know how many days you got. And so I don't ever try to base any kind of what I have to say based on fear. I talk to people, anybody, for the same thing. Listen, until you leave this earth, you've got to that much time to do whatever it is you need to do, and that is be right with God, be reconciled to God. If that means you have to go and tell what you've done to somebody, or apologize for it, take responsibility for it, then that's what you need to do. Because God's not going to come off of what he said, he told you. He doesn't come off of what he told me. He told me things to do. And I am all about it, but, but I still have to work on it, I get a lot of grace from God. And everybody out there can get grace. I mean, most of us are all under grace until they fall from grace. And the particular one I'm thinking of is a fallen angel. If I fell from grace, that'd be what I'd be. I'd be a fallen angel, and boy, that takes a lot of doing, But just normal everyday people that will go to work, they come home, take care of the kids. You're all under grace, And if you do something that you know is wrong, always be ready to apologize and go forth and make it right. It's important, because people don't really think about the pain that they put on somebody else. You never know the impact that your wrong did. But I can tell you that these people's wrongs did a lot of damage, did a lot of bad, and hurt me in a major way, and many tears were shed. To make a chosen one cry is a bad thing, because it really makes God mad. I probably teed them off a little bit before, and it scared me. So I can imagine how they're feeling, But have the courage to go and try to make it right. Have the courage to go forth and make that, at least give an apology of it. I mean, maybe you can't fix what you did, but you can sure apologize. You need to mean it when you do it, because God sees the intentions of our heart. If we're just trying to get out of trouble, well, that's just being selfish. If you really care about the person that you're saying it to, well, then that's going to be made a little easier, Yeah, you did it, but there's remorse, and you can get some forgiveness. You see what I mean? I mean, God, listen, a lot of those old preachers I heard as a kid would have you believing that, boy, fire and brimstone's going to come down upon your butt. And that's not always the case. I mean, karma is real, and I didn't used to believe in that, but looking back on my life, see, I never knew I was chosen. They kept it from me. Whatever they knew about me, they kept it to themselves. They never told me anything. And the night that God came to me to talk to me and ask me to go on a journey with him, I didn't know anything about that, you see. I mean, I was just as naive as I could be. But there's kind of an innocence in me that most people don't have. Because, in a way, what they meant for wrong, God used for good, because being ignorant to something is sometimes better. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, we know the things that we shouldn't do. I mean, if your parents taught you anything, they taught you right and wrong. And you can sometimes deduce all of everything to know whether this is right and wrong. And the first thing you can look at is the intention of what you're doing and why you're doing it. And that tells you everything, because that's what God's going to look at. He's going to look at your intent. If you did something out of love and you were trying to help someone, and maybe it went snafu, God's going to look at the intention and say, well, he acted in love. I mean, it's an accident or something. He's going to get grace on that. But if you're going to go out there and try to steal from somebody and really don't care about what they think, hey man, you can always deny it, right? In the court of law. You cannot deny it to God. Because God's already looked at it. He's already saw it. So you're probably going to, even if you walk away in court, you're going to still get that karma. Karma's going to come back and bite you hard. And, there's times when I wanted to lash out to the people that did me wrong, but I don't, because that's not the way God would have us act. Because believe me, vengeance is God's. And I'll tell you this much, He hits a lot harder than we do. And we don't get in trouble for it. I mean, we can't scold God. You know what I mean? So I was chosen to do this, to carry God's is basically His Spirit, to carry the light of God, which is a lot of wisdom, and I'm sure it's still being downloaded into me. Because your brain works like a big old computer, and God will tell me sometimes I'll go to sleep, and things will be downloaded into me. You know what I mean? There were times I didn't go to sleep when I was supposed to, and I don't know if I didn't get it. Well, anyway, I was told also I was supposed to. I'd sleep near a window, put out some like a bowl of water. I don't know what that was for. Can't remember what that was for, but I did it, and put some money there, because if you need some money, put some money there. Let them know. And I fell asleep, right there near that back door there. Slept all the way till about 3:30. I woke up, Well, yeah, God, and I'm sure He probably came already. Came and went. There's only one time He's ever woke me up. The one time I woke up to a really bad dream, and I called God right then. I said, God, I don't know what that was, but I don't like it. I sure didn't like it. And God being you know how you are with kids? Well, don't worry, I got you. You're fine. And He put Michael there to watch over me while I slept. That's just like a father. You know what I mean? So you get that too. Anybody can have that. I mean, now the other day I was watching these videos, and I came on this one, and a woman I never saw before. And a lot of times I'll listen to those people. What do they got to say? Now, she told a story of what was to come about 3 days of darkness. The thing is I don't know. God hasn't told me anything of that yet. But it sure sounded realistic. Now, bear with me, because I don't know, and I'm not going to say whether or not it's true or not. I do know that one day, maybe He has told me, because I kind of was. I felt like I'd been told this. I'd heard of this before, and mankind's never seen this event. But there'll be 3 days of darkness, and scientifically, I guess what happens here is that you ever heard them talk to this Planet X? Well, this Planet X will it's going to move slow, but it's going to park itself in front of the sun for about 3 days. During that 3 days, you're not supposed to leave and go outside. You can use candles, but they preferably think to use the white one. I don't know what that's about. Hell, when you just need light, candle's the candle. In my books, I don't do any of that magic stuff. See, I've been accused of it because the people that do magic have done so much on me. But what they don't understand is I'm a divine being, and that stuff doesn't work on me. It can, first time I I felt anything like that when they did it. I guess they gave me something that was poison. Something happened. But it made me very sick. And I mean, so sick that I was in my truck. I tried to walk. I was trying to get to my door. And I was just so, I felt so bad. And I prayed to God. I said, God, I don't know what happened here. I don't know what I've done. What if anything's been done to me? Did I ingest something or whatever? He sent Raphael. And Raphael told me you'll be good for about an hour. And about an hour, I was fine. I mean, God looks out for me like that. And so, any of these people that are doing stuff to me, it just irks God to no end, you know. And I wish that we knew, because most of these people are like my family, some family members. Family members, they don't want me to say this. They're messing with my voice. Right here. Anyway, so, you know, of all they've done, they've never said sorry. In fact, they've always said, win at all costs, but there are times that they may have slowed me down, but they haven't stopped me. And I'm gonna run for God, you know. When it gets too much, that's where I go. I mean, it's like, sometimes you don't see me, and everybody's wondering what happened to me. Well, it might be that something just rubbed me wrong, did something that made me feel that I didn't want to be seeing people. I mean, that happens a lot, believe it or not. When you're chosen, and you're an empath, and you feel all this stuff, sometimes the only thing you can do is get alone and just stay to yourself, you know, and God grants me that. You know, He lets me leave and get away from it all, you know, and I just go home, you know. I don't have anybody else really to talk to or anything, so God's the one I talk to, you know. Because really and truly, I don't, you know, this person that started all this mess, I don't know where she got all my phone numbers. Somehow she got my phone numbers out of my phone or something. I don't know. But I guess she has some kind of a software, because they were hacking me for a while. I'm sure that they probably still are, but I just cut that phone off. You know, but she went in, I talked to my friends and family, and, you know, people I know, and went to running bullshit on them, you know what I'm saying? And, I don't know, they're saying that someone passed away, and whether or not it's a family member or what, it's one of these ops. And that they're trying to hang on to me. Well, to that person I would say, go to the light. Yes, you're going to have to deal with them. I think whenever we go to heaven, you know what I mean, we still have to go through some lessons. You know, like anything good or bad that however we made someone feel, you know, especially when you feel bad, you're going to go through a time where you have to feel every bit of that. So it's in your interest to make sure that people are feeling good about you. You know, you're being honest, you're being real. You know, you're not lying to anybody and not trying to hurt anybody. Because every one of those feelings that person, whoever those people are, anything they felt, you're going to feel that. You're going to go through a time when you have to feel every bit of it. It's the first. I think that's like the first life lesson you have to go through when you get there. I mean, because you're not going to die when you die here. You don't die. Your body dies, but the rest of you, your soul, goes on, and it's still alive up there. I know because I talked to my ancestors, and they're up there and they're living life. In fact, a lot of their life right now is defending me to make sure that nothing happens to me, because this is very much they're invested in this just like I am. This is gonna. I mean, I'm the curse breaker, and when curses are broke, they get more ability to run free. Their body's been put to rest, but they are still alive. Many of you know that. Some of you don't. But those of you who don't, believe what I'm saying. I will not lie to you. Listen, I'm here to tell you God's good. And one of the things God told me is, we ain't dying. As long as we ain't going to hell, we ain't dying. We're going to live for a long time. I've been alive. My soul was here in a body back before Adam and Eve was born. Because there were people here. They just weren't enlightened, okay? They were living in an ancient ways, like they had instincts and stuff like that, Kind of sort of what our animals have. God breathed life into us, and what He did was He enlightened our soul. He gave us a soul. Now that soul came from Him. And there are people running around right now out there on earth who don't have a soul, because they may have sold that soul to, like most of these people did that I'm talking about. They're walking around with no souls. It's up for collateral until they can sacrifice me, and they will never be able to sacrifice me. God is not going to let them have me. I am a servant to God. He's not going to. I mean, if they knew how ridiculous that sounds, they would think that they could just grab a hold of me, do wild sexual things to hurt me, and then sacrifice me to Satan. They're out of their minds. They have lost their minds. Remember Job? Remember him? Well, in the Bible, that's the oldest book in the Bible. Now, Job was a righteous man. He's a good man, right? And, he tended to his life and tended to his flocks. And he had a bunch of them. And his kids and his wife. And, was the devil guy. Went to God. I said, I bet you, because Job would never curse God. And neither will I. By the way, I've yells and stuff, but to curse God, no, I won't do that. But he said, I bet you if you. Look, he's lived in your favor for so long. I bet you if you took away that favor and started taking things away from him, I'll bet you he would curse you. Well, so he started doing things to him, like, making him ill and get boils and stuff over his body and killing off his kids and, just regular, all kinds of garbage that poor old Job didn't need and he didn't deserve. He said, but whatever you do not touch one hair on his head, that you'd hurt him. So that boils was about as bad as he got. And of course, there he is, sick. His flocks are all dying. His kids are dead. His wife, tells him, well, just curse God and die. Well, that's a heck of a wife, isn't it? I would think that she'd be trying to help him, to go through. Because, listen, if I have a wife, I'm going to tell her what I'm doing, and she's gonna be in it with me. She better get yourself to fast divorce, because if you don't want to be in it, because but just know that she's gonna live the shit too. She needs to be there for you. And in the end, you're gonna win, because you're not gonna do what old Satan told you that you could do. I'm not gonna work for Satan. You know what I mean? So, and believe me, I've been tempted quite a bit, and I've held strong on that. I'm on God's side, and the thing about it is, I think you got to be totally lame in the brain. You know what I mean? If you take someone else's side over God. And remember, this guy spoke into existence us, this planet, the heavens and the earth, all of it. He spoke it into existence. It took him 6 days. Now that was 6,000 years. And on the 7th day, he rested. Right? Think about that. I mean, if he can do all that, and he can come to me and tell me, no, he actually did. He came to me and told me. He says, listen, I'm going to I'm going to stretch your soul out. I'm going to put myself inside of you. You okay with that? Yeah, because he asked, So, yeah, God, that's what you need to do. Just do it. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I never felt it. I mean, I didn't feel anything it didn't stretch my guts out or something. You know what I mean? A soul is light as a feather. As long as there's not a bunch of garbage and stuff, gumming it up. It's light as a feather, and that's what you need to be when this time comes. Because now getting back to this 3 days of darkness. Okay. Now, what this lady was saying, and she said God told her to write all this stuff, and she wrote it down. She read it, and I'm inclined to believe that her timeline may be different. I don't know, because I don't think that God's going to have me walking blind into it. But I will pass it just the same, because when I see something in the broad daylight become dark, then I'm going to stand by for 3 days for that. So I need to keep things stocked a little bit, stuff to eat, And what you don't want to do in this time, if that should happen, listen to me about this. Keep your butts inside, because there's going to be a lot of demons and stuff running around out there in the air, trying to nab bodies, to house themselves in. And there are a lot of people walking around with those demons, and it might be people I know that I've got at least 2 of them, maybe 3, in my own family who have got demons, and there's no doubt about it. What I saw yesterday in that person that came to my door, I probably could have, but that person wasn't coming to me to exercise that demon. No, they were up to something shady. He's been one of the main culprits behind all this war that they brought to me. Damn. So, if that should happen, and the first thing I hear about it, I'm going to be all over this deal, letting you know, go get inside, and keep your kids inside, and pray to the Lord. Stay close to God. The fact is that we all, including me, but everybody, nobody is beyond what I'm going to tell you right now. We are in the end times, and we're going to be seeing some things come down that you need to be troubled by. I mean, you need to know the warnings, okay? And that's, like these wildfires and stuff, and, all the stuff that's been happening even here in America. Now, if there's any truth at all to that revelation, you don't hear much on America and that. Now, there was a time when I know, like the War of 1812, they should have lost that war. It was a very quick war. But I think God foresaw that we were going to be needed to balance things out in this world. Because look at World War II. If we hadn't entered that war, Europe would be speaking German right now. That's all there is to it. There was no way they were going to win. Not in a long, prolonged, war of attrition. But when we stepped into it, because Japan bombed us, well, that sure balanced things out, and after that, people started winning because we built a major war machine. Because, hey, they attacked us. Now, I don't have much faith in Mr. Trump. I'm sorry. For you people who do, to each his own. But right now, I'd say he really is kind of a blight in our history. Because there's no truth in him. And we know it. Most of us know it. And he's going out here and messing with our allies and stuff, pissing them off real good. Because his main job does foreign affairs and things like that. He's not doing real well with it. He's got you see, Russia's jumping into things over there in the Middle East now, and we're over there messing up things. You see this war with Iran and the Jews. People say, no, they shouldn't be doing this or that. But, think about where their history went. They're going to fight tooth and nail from the very start. They're going to. Because they know if they should lose a war, they're going to kick them right out of their country. In fact, they'll probably try to kill them all. Because some people out there, there's a bunch of Muslims, countries around there, who just don't think that they have a right to exist. Think about that. Don't have the right to exist. Everyone has the right to exist. And as long as they stay in their own lane, everyone can exist. I'm sorry that wars are hell, but that is exactly what they are. And I hope that they find a way to get together and stop that war. All these wars, really. Ukraine, the Gaza Strip, and all this, that's one of the reasons why I'm here, is to change this world. And the community I'm talking to right now is basically this spiritual community that is on all these channels, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. Every one of those have got a bunch of things on that. Darkness comes everywhere, and the best thing that we can do is shine our lights and make the darkness go away. Because you walk into your room, you dip on that light, well, then things start stirring if they don't want to be seen, because the light is gone now. And that's kind of like what we do. They want me to shut up, but that's my light. I'm not going to stop my light, and I'm not going to dim it for anybody. There are a lot of good people out here. I know a lot of you. I mean, I come and I talk to you, I listen to you, and some of you could bring down that language, a little bit. You listen, I'm one of those guys that doesn't believe in saying like the F word in front of kids or whatever. I'm not telling you not to do what you do. Your way is your way. You're getting the word across. You're getting God's message out there to them. That's okay by me. Whatever it takes to do that, we just go ahead and do it, and then deal with any good fallout. But it's better that the word gets out. Because we're after all, we're just human beings, and we all have our, none of us have come to glory like God has, like Jesus did. We're all faulty. We were born that way, and the best thing we can do is every day work on that and see what we can do to get better. I was blessed with something. I got to have a heart that beats for God. I love the way God would have us love, and I do my best to keep that heart open to people, to love them. And don't get me wrong. There's times I get mad and I get angry and I don't want to talk to them, just like you. But I don't hold on to it. I let it go, and eventually it's completely out of my head. But never once did I say I want to get some vengeance on that sucker. I don't get like that. Many times I've had to just go get alone and cry. And God says He bottled up every one of those tears, because they're about faith. When He sees you crying because the good was disregarded, and people who you've done wrong or something, who you knew were good and didn't do anything to you. Now, there aren't very many people I don't think like that. Maybe I'm naive, but I think mankind is inherently good. We have our things, our triggers that make us go shady, you know what I mean? But some of that stuff's just anger or something, you know what I mean? And maybe it's because we were done wrong, and so we get a little angry. But the thing is, don't hold on to that anger, because that is a clear route to cancer. I know that's true, because cancer is a bitterness disease. I've seen so many people who just couldn't let go of things that they didn't need to be holding on to, and it just sits inside them and just kind of gets rotten. You know what I mean? I believe that because I had a wife who died of cancer, and she had her mother, who was, I don't know how this woman did that. She lost every one of her kids before she died. That ain't good. Listen, we ain't supposed to. That's not something we're supposed to ever have to deal with. We're supposed to bury our parents, not the other way around. This woman buried one of her kids. I felt bad for her, and one of her kids was my wife. And that's kind of what codependency does to you. That's a codependent family, and they were very codependent. And I was kind of reading it, and it said that's one of the symptoms of codependent families. There's a lot of cancer and stuff goes through them, and then that's pretty much what they all died from. This woman ruled with an iron fist. I dreaded to have to go over there for Christmas sometimes, because boy. But I could tell you stories about all that, but I'm not going to, because they're all dead. And but I'll see either one. when I pass, because I'm sure she'll be waiting on me. Let me know what I did wrong, what I did right. But I really don't think she's going to see. I don't think she'd be telling me what I did wrong, but I haven't done anything that wrong. But, because I loved her, and I still do. Anyway, thing is that God says He's going to start helping us out here. He's with us on this walk to change this world. He's down with it. You know what I mean? When you got Him on your side, who can be against you? There's no way we fail. So I encourage you to get on this thing with me, because it's just a movement to put more God in our lives, live by some of those, well, all of them really, because God doesn't tell us not to do things because He just got it rule and you just better not break it. That's not the way God is. And that's not the God I've known. The God I've known, and I believe me, I've talked to Him, and He's coming. I've seen Him, believe it or not. I mean, but if you have any questions, ask Him. He'll tell you, yeah. There's times He's come and told me. There's been times that He just, said, listen, don't listen to them. What did I say? He's not that hard of a guy to get along with. In fact, he's very easy to get along with. But, when He's right, He's right. And so, there's a lot that needs to be made right on this planet. And we're capable of doing it, We're capable of getting people back on the right track to be the creation that we were meant to be. And He gave us 3 easy to have things that cover it all: hope, faith, and love. And most of the things I do with God is I have faith. That faith is like, there are people get on these videos sometimes, and they'll be saying things and telling me what trying to scold me. And I think to myself, God didn't say that. He did not. Quit saying you're God if you're not. I know God, He's inside of me, so I know, and I'm not God. I'm not. But I am the chosen one of God and the chosen vessel of God. So they can't really lie. I mean, but they put that in this video, goes like this, you don't guess this. I know what I need to hear. I know. I know. And when it comes down to it, I'm going to go straight to the God I know. He's going to tell me. If I'm screwing up, I'm screwing up. And He'll set me straight. I'm not going to get in trouble for it. I get grace, because listen, there is no rule book written for this. I know the difference between right and wrong, and I know what I need to tell His children and get them home. God loves you. Like a father loves his children, He loves you. End of story. So when your father talked to you as a child, get home, times are getting crazy, and I need you around me so that we're all okay, and I need to know you're okay. Well, that's what God's telling us. Things are kind of crazy out there, and until we take care of all this evil that's in the world, then we're all at risk. So get close to God, and you're protected. You're under grace, you're protected, and if you're screwing up, then He's going to tell you about it and change it. I mean, it's that simple. He guides my steps. He tells me, get out here and talk to these guys. Let them know. Listen, they're not in trouble. Don't be afraid of God. I mean, the fear of God is like a great respect for Him. Right? I mean, I don't think He meant to, sure, we can get on our knees and pray. And if He comes to your room, we probably need to stay and see what He's doing. He'll probably take, rise, child. I want to talk to you. Because I stood up and talked to Him. He's not here trying to hurt us, and he's not going to do that. I mean, he says in Psalms 91, he wants to give us a future. He wants to add to us. As long as we find our joy in that, then he's going to add to our lives in a good way. When you start doing things that you know are wrong, and you just do it willfully and do whatever you want, well, you're going to start feeling that pinch. You're going to feel that because God's going to start letting your actions and the stuff that you've done come back to bite you. Now, these people that I've been up against say that God made a rule on them, and he started making their karma pretty much automatic already. The minute they do it, it comes back at them. After about 2 or 3 times, I would probably say, oh, I don't think I want to do that anymore. Some of them have. Some of them haven't. And listen, if that 3 days of darkness comes, God's going to give you one chance to make your choice to either be with God or be of dark. And if once you talk to dark, he's going to send you to the dark. And never again will he shine his face upon you. That's basically what it's going to be, because that's the time that's going to tell it all. And even if you do turn to the light, it's a good bet you're going to be here for all that bad stuff that they talk about in the Revelations. I don't want to be here for it. I want to see all of you get out of it and not have to go through that. So, if there's a rapture, I don't know that there is or not, but keep your hearts right, keep your souls as light as a feather, and rise, because you don't want to be here after that. Because at that point, that's the point that says, let the games begin. And people start getting their heads chopped up, and they don't want to take that mark. That's real. That's what it says, and that's what it'll do. Now, that day's going to come like that. God can rewrite the story. God is writing my story as I go along. I am God's story. I am who he writes the story for. I am going to be victorious in this, so I know that. Because God doesn't get beat. I mean, hey, we suffer pain. We suffer heartbreak and all this through it all. Believe it. I know, because I've cried all those tears. It's been a hard walk. It's like he said. He told me, this journey you're going to go on is not for the faint of heart, and it surely has not been. Nothing's been easy about it. But by the same token, what would it have been like if I had just done everything I could against God? If this is hard, doing the right thing, think about what's going to do the wrong thing. Pretty bad. I'm sure those people, and what I saw, and that this person I grew up with, and he looked very small, ate up a bit, you know what I mean? And I felt bad because he didn't look very healthy. I'm sure all of them are feeling that way and looking that way. That breaks my heart. Because all they ever had to do to make themselves be okay was come off this bullshit that they're doing, turn around, and plead God. He's going to let them go through their karma? Yeah, he's going to. But they can still be forgiven. They don't have to wind up in hell. Right now, that's where they're heading. So, before this life is over, and if you feel like you're getting weak, turn around and get some Jesus in you. Call Jesus and say, listen, I need to stop what I'm doing. I need to get with you and get right. God's good to tell you. He'll tell you what to do. But once he does, you can rest assured that you might be a street cleaner in heaven, but you're going there. And I'd rather be a street cleaner in heaven than a rich millionaire in hell. Because you ain't going to take none of that stuff with you anyway. You know what I mean? Nothing you get to take with you when you leave here is the love that you fostered. So, I look to see all of you. I'm here to bring in heaven on earth. And that's with a lot of love, faith, and hope. And if we live like that, and we live by those things that are good, we're all going to see that. I've got a few years left in me. I'm older than you think I am. But it will be up to me and you to bring in heaven on earth, because it's coming. And at that time, when he does, that's when Jesus will come, sit on his throne here on earth, and live with us. And that's not that far away. God right now is already starting to enact some of these things to bring that to be. Because you see, when God wants you to do something, he doesn't make you do all the work. He doesn't make you fight the battles. He asks you to do one thing. Take care of you and your family, and make sure that they do right and you do right. And if you do that, God's going to bless you. You think I'm the only one? I'm not the only one. Anybody out there can do what I did. I was heading straight to probably hell, for all I know. I was raised in a bunch of witches and everything, all that. Now, I never knew it. And I never caught in any of that stuff. But I was around it all my life. So if it had taken a hold on me and looked right, it could have happened. But I think God protected my heart. And these people think they should have been chosen, but they did all those things. You know, I did not. They know I'm different. But many of those times I felt like I was like really an outcast upon that family. You know, I mean, pretty much I was. But I'd rather be alone, lonely old guy, and know that I have God on my side, than all the people in the world that are evil and Satan on my side. Because Satan never tells the truth. And most of them people never tell the truth either. But many of you out there, we're growing. We're growing in size of people that have taken God's side on things. And I am pleased to see it. And I'm happy that you know that God's got you. I got you. He loves you and so do I. I always tell people, I love you and so does God. Because he does. Because I've seen all that he's done to bring us to this enlightenment, this VID thing. And it's just more, that's part of the story that brings us back to Eden, you see? That's the story I'm seeing. And I'm seeing that many of us are in the light of God. We're walking in the light. And I'm so glad to see it. You can tell if something's good or evil. You can feel the evil radiating off people that are evil. You can feel it. If you have what I have, I'm just empathic. But, I feel it. And it just kind of just drains me. But when I'm around good people, it raises my spirits. It feels good. People feel good. Just to be around them. Of course, I'm an empath, so I can only take so much. I can't take big crowds that much, but, but, I still love you, and I'll still be around you. I don't care. Whatever I can do to bring God's will to this earth, bring us out of the dark ages, God just wants to make us better. And that's it. They're talking about trying to put man's consciousness inside of AIs. Now, I can't buy that. God gave us a body, and He put our consciousness inside of a soul. That soul is not supposed to be taken out and put in something that isn't real. I don't care what anybody says, but that's what they're talking about, trying to get out to the other planets. We don't have to get to another planet, if you ask me. If you ask me, we got one right here we can take care of, and we can be here until the day it's gone, because eventually it will go. God will have us up there with Him. There's a heaven up there. I read the book of Enoch, and believe me, it's real. It's not, there's places up there for us. Plenty of space. We don't need to go anywhere else. This is the planet He put us on. This is the planet we live on. And this is the planet we will leave from. That one ain't the only planet. But we're the only one who does war still. That's what He's trying to stop. And that's going to take a whole lot of love, a whole lot of hope, and a whole lot of faith. Got those things? Grow those things. Make them big enough to shout from the mountaintop. Hey, I belong to God, and so does this world, and if you don't want to belong to God, get out of here. That's what it is. Because that's who we want. We want people who love God, and God loves them. And all they have to do to get God to love them is to turn around, accept that guy hung on that cross, and love Him, and love God with all their hearts. Because He'll show them how to do it. Because the guy I met was someone worthy of being loved. That ain't nothing gay in that or anything. That's just, and listen, that's God. God was a nice man. Very nice man. He wasn't trying to be, he's not doing all this war. He fights for us, by the way. He does fight for us. He doesn't want us to go out and fight the war. He fights it for us. All we have to do is say, stand up and count it. I'm with God. I'm for God. He's going to have you. The lowest one will become the most. The first will become the last. That's what He told me when He met me. I said, because I was a black sheep. He said, well, guess that's the first will become the last, and that's who I became. If there's anybody who's the leader of my clan, my lineage, my family, it's me. They may not listen to me right now, a lot of them. The ones that are smart, who want to really know about God, would be wise. I can't make them, I can take them to water, but I can't make them drink. So I hope that they have enough sense to know that to drink that water, because it's everlasting water. You'll never thirst again. That's what God said. He said, drink this water I give you, and you'll never be thirsty again. We have a lot to clean up on this earth. There's people over there starving in Somalia and all this stuff. I was saying that. Our prayers can do a lot. If we're being good people, it says, the prayers of a righteous man will avail much. I ask right now, God, what I saw just in that deal, said they may have, all these kids dying over there from starvation and stuff. The animals are dying. Please look upon them and help. Give me the means to help. I will do it. You see, I'm here not just to bless God. God is going to bless all the people through me. Whoever needs to be blessed, who needs help, blessed through me. God will give me that to take care of this. Let him get him a good start. Get him back on the track. Make rivers flow through them so they have water and can grow crops and stuff like that. Whatever it takes. Then I'm going to be there doing it. My job isn't just to talk. My job is to make God's will and make God's world a better place. And that's what I intend to do, and I need your help to do it. And all you have to do is wish that comes true. And pray to God. Say, God, I want to put my vote in right now. I want to be with you. Just do that. Tell Jesus, look good. Don't worry about it. Just say, listen, I want to be covered under the blood of Jesus. Because he died for all of us. All of us. There are no exceptions. We all sinned and fall short of the glory of God. Right? For all of us. Even the lessest to the mostest. Every one of you. That's what I want. I want every one of you to go and be blessed by God. And believe me, he does bless you. Man, listen, I haven't done that much to get some of the praise and stuff I've gotten. And so I kind of went, feel weird. Because God is wanting us for praise. That's who I praise, because it's his doing, He did all that. Not mine. It's not my doing. I'm just pointing it out. I'm just here to show it. I am a walking testimony of what God did for me. Okay? Because it's real. Done things that make me think, when did that hell happen? God's working every day, night and day. When I can't even see him, he's doing stuff, It's all to get his light workers and stuff. There are 144,000 of us. Now that may not seem that much, but every one of us shining their light and doing what they should be doing, whatever God's told them to do, it's going to make a dent in this world. And take the dent, take a big chunk of that darkness and make that go light. Because most of the people that see this, if they do, they're going to say, really. And believe me, it takes more energy and you exert more power to be evil than you ever will to be good. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot easier to smile and say hello to somebody as opposed to saying, it takes a long bit, because then you're going to get some feedback. Whereas being kind is not a problem, and being kind is an easy thing to do if it's just a kind word, and one person at a time. One person that you might change their whole life. That you saw them, you heard them. Doesn't take much, but God put it in every one of us, and we can use that good. And the more we do, the more heaven is coming down. We are making it. We are building heaven on earth at this very moment with that kindness. So I'm going to end this here. And I pray for each one of you, wherever you are. And if you're on the fence, I pray you tip towards God. Because it helps us. It helps us. It puts more light in the world. And that's a good thing. A little more kindness. Be able to wake up in the morning and know you're loved. you're loved by the biggest, baddest mofo in the universe, and that's God. So you know you're not gonna lose a lot of battles. If you have battles, you got God on your side. God before you, who can be against you? Nobody. Nobody. Bless you all, and I bless that for you, all of you, that God is on your side. You're doing all the right things, making all the right moves, and thriving on this planet. Okay? Because that's what it's going to be. If you're with God, that's what's going to happen. Just keep on walking that walk. Okay? I'm not going to be asking for money or anything like that. God owns all the money in the world. You know? Because, He gives and He takes away if He wants, because, believe me, God, and you're going to have a good life, I promise. That's going to happen. That's just the way it goes. Get with Satan, may not be so good. You might have some few seasons that might kind of go your way, but you got to pay big for those. So anyway, that's kind of the way it works. Karma is real, and it always knows your address. So anyway, I love you all with the Christ, with the love of Christ, and have a good tomorrow and all the other days after that. All right? Amen.